Today, we're diving deep into the world of the Enneagram Type 3, the Achiever. Now, this is a personality type that runs on this incredible fuel of ambition and a powerful need to feel valuable. We're going to look at their amazing strengths, what's really driving them, and also the shadow side, the hidden dangers of a life that's always in the spotlight.
But before we get into all that, I want to start with a question for you. Seriously, take a second. What does success actually mean to you? Is it a job title? Is it a certain amount of money? Or something totally different? Just hang on to that thought, because for the Type 3, their entire world is built around finding the answer to that very question.
You see this sentence right here. This is basically the operating system, the code that a Type 3 runs on. For them, value isn't just some vague internal feeling. No way. It has to be proven. It has to be seen. It has to be validated by the world through real, tangible results. And honestly, this one core belief, it shapes everything we're about to talk about. All right, section 1. Let's start with the version of the Type 3 that most of us see on the outside. This is the classic achiever, the polished, capable star of the show who always seems to be crushing it and moving on to the next big thing. So when you look at these characteristics, you can see just how much they're geared for action. 3s are absolute masters of efficiency, always looking for the smartest, fastest way to get from A to B. They project this image of being totally in control, and often that means pushing their own feelings to the side to stay focused, you know? Just listen to them talk. It's like their vocabulary is built around words like goal, result, and success.
And this just nails it, right? If you ask a Type 3 how they're doing, you're probably not going to get, "Oh, I'm feeling a little tired." You're going to hear about the project they just launched or the target they just hit. They speak the language of accomplishments because, on a deep level, they believe they are their accomplishments. Talking about feelings or doubts, that can feel unproductive, almost off-brand. So, okay, that's the what. But what about the why? What's the engine that's driving this incredible high-performance machine? In this next section, we're going to pop the hood and look at the core motivation behind it all, this relentless quest to feel valuable.
It really all boils down to this one fundamental need. It's not just a want, it's a deep, driving need to feel valuable and important. But here's the catch. It's not enough for them to just know it on the inside. That feeling of importance has to be reflected back at them in the mirror of external success. And without that constant validation, a quiet but really persistent anxiety can start to creep in.
So think of their emotional engine as running on two very different kinds of fuel. On one side, you've got the positive stuff, that amazing rush of pride and satisfaction you get from nailing a presentation or closing a deal. That's the "I am useful, I add value" high. But then there's the other fuel, a deep, gut-wrenching fear of shame and worthlessness that comes with failure. And so often, that relentless drive for success is actually a desperate sprint away from that terrible feeling of not being good enough. But listen, that high-performance engine, it can produce some absolutely incredible results. So let's talk about the bright side, because there is a lot of it. When Type 3s are healthy and balanced, they are a genuine force for good in the world.
I mean, a healthy Type 3 is just so impressive. These are the people who can walk into a chaotic mess, somehow clarify a single powerful goal, and get everyone fired up to go after it. They have this infectious, we can totally do this energy that can turn a struggling team into a powerhouse. And in a crisis, they don't panic, they get strategic.
And this right here, this is their superpower. A lot of people have great ideas, right? But Type 3s have this unique gift for taking an abstract idea and turning it into a real, concrete, step-by-step project. They're brilliant at packaging a message and presenting a vision in a way that just makes you want to sign up and be part of it. They make things happen. It's that simple.
But there's always a but. Every coin has two sides. So now we've got to flip it over and take a hard look at the shadow side. This next part is all about the intense internal pressures and the very real risks that come with this achiever mindset.
And this really gets to the heart of the danger. When your sense of self-worth is completely tied to how well you perform, success stops being a goal and starts becoming an addiction. You need bigger and bigger wins just to feel okay. And that creates this incredibly fragile identity, one that feels like it could shatter at the first sign of failure. And you can almost see the tragic, predictable path this leads to. It starts with that belief: I am what I achieve. Okay, so to protect that, you have to push down any feeling that gets in the way: fatigue, doubt, sadness. You just shove it down. Image becomes everything. How you look is more important than how you feel. But you can only wear that mask for so long before you just
burn out. And you're left with this terrifying, empty question. If I'm not my success, then who am I? Which brings us to their biggest blind spot. To a type 3, that whole inner world of messy emotions can seem really inefficient. It feels like a distraction from the real work of getting things done. But by ignoring it, they risk becoming totally disconnected from themselves and from the people they love, leading to this profound sense of emptiness, even when, from the outside, it looks like they have it all. Okay, so that was pretty heavy, but here's the most important part. This is not a dead end, not even close. This final section is all about the path forward. It's about the journey away from the performance and toward the authentic self. This table just lays it out so perfectly. The real growth journey for a type 3 is about moving from the mask on the left to authenticity on the right. It's about letting go of that intense pressure to be this invincible, impressive ideal, and instead embracing what it means to just be human. The goal isn't to stop achieving things, it's to find a sense of value that exists whether you win or lose. So how do you actually do that? Well, it's about these small, consistent, practical steps. Things like just practicing naming your feelings, or daring to tell someone you trust that you're struggling. It's about scheduling time in your calendar for just being, not always doing. And remember, this isn't about fixing a flaw. It's about becoming a more whole, integrated version of yourself. And this is the beautiful outcome. A transformed achiever is still dynamic and effective and inspiring, but their motivation is completely different. Their success story is no longer being written for an audience. It's being written from a place of deep, authentic truth. It's a success that comes from the heart, not just from the mask. So we'll end right back where we started, with a question. Whether you identify as a type 3, or you know and love someone who does, I'll leave you with this to think about. Who is the person behind the mask of success? Because discovering the answer to that is the most valuable achievement of all.